Bitcoin continues its rally, pumping past $123,000 today. And Samsung and Coinbase have partnered to bring crypto to 75 million users. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, today Bitcoin continued its rally, pumping past $123,000. At the time of recording, it's seeing a bit of a pullback, which is very healthy after a very strong move that we've seen from near $110,000 to over 123,000. So that a pretty big week for Bitcoin, right? So at the time of recording, we're just below $122,000. Now, as you all know, markets don't go up in a straight line. So we could see a very healthy pullback, maybe to about $118,000, $117,000, build support levels and then continue. So please expect that. Understand the market cycles from the micro and the macro. So this is very good. We're seeing confirmation, we're seeing strength, and on the daily chart, the RSI is approaching the overbought zone. So that's where, again, we can expect a pullback. But the MACD is showing the bulls are in control on the daily. So that's a very good sign, guys. And I believe we're seeing the start of the next major rally, but it will run in phases. Now, if we look at total three, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins, it also pumped this week and currently pulling back just a bit, but it's not in the overbought zone. So if Bitcoin, is about to top out pretty soon as far as being in the overbought zone, we'll see how overheated it gets. We're going to see the rotation of liquidity from Bitcoin to the alts. Right? The same cyclical pattern we've seen over and over again. So this is why we don't want to be emotional. We want to be educated. We want to pay attention to the data. And that's what I'm bringing to you, looking at the different signals, looking at multiple data points, right? I tried to give you guys the holistic view, the full lay of the land, because if you're just looking at one chart pattern on the weekly time frame or whatever, you're going to miss a lot of things, right? You're not going to be fully educated about what's happening at the moment and what may be down the road. So this is why I bring you guys chart analysis, the different signals, the on-chain data, the macro, right? You got to pay attention to the macro and you don't want to be emotional. We're seeing a lot of people got emotional, got into the trap. And I've been saying for months, guys, the whales and the market makers are at play here. Don't get shook out, right? Don't let your confidence get broken down. You remember I've been saying those words. I rehash it to remind you, to help you to build and fortify your mind and to these things so that you can better navigate the markets. I hope you appreciate that, right? This is the journey I had to go on. It's why even in the tariff crash and even with this recent pullback and everybody bearish, I was bullish. And I'm saying, pay attention to the data, pay attention to the data. Look at all these data points, right? And sometimes people follow folks from from a cultish standpoint. I never want you to follow me like a cult. I want you to look at different data points, listen to different people, and make sure you broaden your horizons there and you get different POVs. And I always encourage you guys to go study these things on TradingView, go look them up. You don't have to be a Wall Street analyst, but at least have the foundational knowledge. So guys, the macro bull market continues. We're seeing Bitcoin rallying. Gold, of course, has been going nuts. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones Industrial, all hitting new all-time highs. So it's all following global liquidity, folks. So this has been the macro thesis I've been sharing with you guys for the past 2 years, and not only on the podcast, but also in the newsletter. So I hope you appreciate that. I hope you see what is happening here. Just step back and you look at all the charts. They're all going up, including real estate. We don't look at the real estate chart, but you guys can pull that up, the real estate index. You can see that real estate prices are going crazy despite mortgage rates have been high and people have not been selling, right? The real estate market's been almost dead, but the values keep going up. Why? Global liquidity driving all assets higher. And global liquidity is driven by the central banks around the globe printing more money, injecting more liquidity. It's not just the United States. Even though the US M2 has been going parabolic, right? You can pull that data up on the Fed's website. Now, I want to share what some analysts are saying. Here's one which I thought was really awesome, great data analysis. So the user gel on X says the average Bitcoin return when the weekly stochastic RSI crosses bullish is plus 35%. He says target based on the average return $155,000 this year. Bring it on. So he's using the data now, right? Not There's not emotions. It's not I'm gonna pump you up and whatever. He's broke it down all the moves we're seeing in this bull market so far. When that stochastic RSI crosses bullish, we see big upside. So I think $155,000 is a solid target. That doesn't mean we're going to go straight in a straight line up. I've been saying that, the next major target could be 132K. So maybe we pump there, pull back correction, right? Then we continue and we hit 155,000. Now, is this guaranteed? Of course not, right? Because black swan events could happen. We've seen that and many other things. But based on the data, I think there's a high probability of that playing out. So things are looking good. Now, here's what Crypto Wizard says, kind of making fun of retail who have been afraid and even some influencers who have been afraid and panic selling. He says, no more tears. Guess they're not heartbroken anymore. Talking about the panicans. He says, Bitcoin continues to follow last year's playbook as warned, whilst the masses panic. The Q4 rally is upon us. Enjoy the bumpy yet explosive ride. Bears, better luck next time. So if you look at the chart he provided here, you see the similar patterns playing out from what we saw last year, right after the September FOMC 2024. You have kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news event where the markets actually correct, right? Even though there was a rate cut and people are like, oh my God, we got, the rate cuts are not doing anything. It's over. All right. And people start panicking. And then all of a sudden the market does the opposite of the herd. Oh man, it's once you see this and once you understand what the market makers and the whales are doing, they're playing the games. They want to shake you out, guys. And this is why, again, you got to look at multiple data points. But the bull market's continuing here. So enjoy it, folks. And of course, when the top signals, the top zone signals start flashing, I will be here telling you, guys, sell, 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 sell. The signals are flashing. Right now, they're not flashing, right? I've been sharing on-chain data with whales. They continue to accumulate. In fact, when everybody was scared and people were selling their bags and whatever, they were accumulating. And global liquidity keeps rising. And the stock market and gold, all these things keep moving up. Guys, I hope you see it. I'm trying my best to explain it, and I hope I'm articulating it well. Here's another interesting fact. We continue to see institutional investors are buying incredible amounts of crypto. Look at the Blackrock Bitcoin ETF. They bought just yesterday another 3,859 Bitcoin, putting their holdings to 777,000 Bitcoin. Guys, this ETF was just launched last year in March, or I should say around Q1 of 2024. And look at how much Bitcoin they have accumulated. Do you think they're bearish, right? Do you think they're saying, oh, let's put our clients' money in just for it to roll over, the price roll? Come on, man. This is why you can't just look at charts. You got to look at stuff like this as well, right? To be fully educated. And we know that we have the altcoin ETFs coming up. That is a huge narrative. Do you think whales and market makers are not going to use that to their advantage? Buy the rumor, sell the news event? Do you think the Clarity Act, the crypto market structure bill, which is going to be passing in the Senate later this quarter, they're not going to use that, right? Come on, man. The people who are calling the top, you got to look at multiple factors. You can't just have tunnel vision on the charts. You got to look at the macro, the major milestones that are coming up and so forth, and apply some logic, right? And reasoning. Here, Nature Racy says 30 plus crypto related ETFs filed with the SEC this afternoon. So a bunch of filing happening. People are preparing for more upside. Nate says just the beginning. Any crypto ETF you can possibly imagine will be filed with the SEC over the next several months. You all have no idea what's coming. So are these institutional investors idiots? Do you think they're bearish? No. Who the hell would want to launch in a bear market and then you won't get the inflows and make the fees? They're going to launch in a bull market, guys. I hope you see what's happening here. This is why you can't just look at these little signals on the charts. They're important. You have to consider them, but you got to look at the full lay of the land. So incredible stuff. Now, Look at this news. This is so bullish. So, Coinbase and Samsung are partnering. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, says, excited to be partnering with Samsung to make crypto even more accessible. We're offering 75 million plus Samsung Galaxy users in the US free access to Coinbase One to bring them on board. And we've fully integrated Samsung Pay. So every Coinbase user in the US can use that to buy crypto. Folks, this is a huge on ramp for crypto. Remember, we're not at a billion users yet, but we are in the hundreds of millions. And crypto is having a faster adoption rate than the internet itself, which makes sense, right? But this is a massive partnership. Samsung is the largest smartphone maker. There's more Samsung phones out there than Apple phones, right? But this is a huge on ramp, just incredible and so bullish. It will bring more people into the asset class, more capital, just a huge, huge on ramp. And this is such a great partnership for Coinbase because it's a seamless integration, right? Samsung already has kind of a crypto wallet. I have a Samsung phone, so I'm familiar with that. So this dovetails really nicely and just incredible. Just incredible. What a huge, huge on ramp here. Here's a quote from Sean Agarwal, who I've had on the podcast, by the way. He's the chief business officer at Coinbase. Together with Samsung, we are pairing their global scale with Coinbase's trusted platform to deliver the best value for people to access crypto, starting with more than 75 million of Galaxy users across the United States and soon around the world. So you know they're going to go international with this, but smart move starting with the 75 million users in the United States. Samsung Wallet is a trusted tool to millions of Galaxy users, and we're continually working to find creative ways to enhance the experience with added functionality, said Drew Blackard, Senior Vice President of Mobile Product Management at Samsung Electronics America. Coinbase is a leader in the industry, which made them the ideal partner to provide our users with the seamless access to crypto. Incredible and bullish news here. Here's even more bullish news coming from Coinbase. Coinbase applies for a US banking license, joining the growing pack of crypto firms. So, Coinbase on Friday announced that it had filed for a national trust company charter with the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, also known as the OCC. So, we've seen a lot of companies doing this, Ripple, Circle, and much more. Because these companies are kind of the new type of banks, right? And it's going to be all wallet based. This is why a lot of the banks, the TradFi institutions, and the incumbents are scrambling, trying to fight, right? Disruptions at their doorstep. And it's amazing to see the moves these crypto companies are making. Guys, we're on the right side of history. We have been for a long time, despite what Elizabeth Warren, Gary Gensler, and all the naysayers and all these banking folks trying to lobby to attack crypto have done, but they've lost. And now they have to capitulate. And it's just beautiful what's happening. Now, folks, this episode is brought to you by Propy. Propy's leading the charge with putting real estate on chain. I'm a Propy token holder. I have been since 2018. Folks, you can buy and sell a property on Propy for crypto. So if you want to sell it for Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, you can do so. And the platform is powered by blockchain, of course. So Propy is a licensed Web3 pioneer operating since 2017, facilitating over $4 billion in transactions. Billionaire investor Tim Draper was an early investor, and he's still very bullish on this project. So a lot of folks believe in this because we know real estate's going to go on chain. The real estate market's going to be disrupted by blockchain. And for the buying and selling of the properties, they use Coinbase for the crypto escrow. They have put deeds on chain. They've created NFTs for properties and much more. So this is a project I absolutely believe in, long term, because it is the future. We know it's coming, and Propy, once again, is ahead of the curve. They're leading the charge here. So if you'd like to learn more about Propy, go to propy.com. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, even more bullish news. Look at this. Walmart owned OnePay to launch Bitcoin Ethereum trading and custody on mobile later this year. Walmart owned. If you know who Walmart is, you know how big this is, right? One of the largest retailers with massive distribution and reach and huge customer base, and they're going to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum trading. Incredible stuff. So, Walmart backed fintech platform OnePay is reportedly preparing to launch cryptocurrency trading and custody in its mobile banking app later this year, starting with Bitcoin and Ether. OnePay's crypto rollout is expected to let users convert crypto to cash in app to spend on Walmart purchases or pay down card balances, according to CNBC. The report added that crypto infrastructure startup Zero Hash would be key to embedding crypto support within OnePay's platform. Friday's news follows Walmart's interest in US dollar backed stablecoins. It also comes amid a policy posture that's growing more crypto friendly. The Trump administration's federal stablecoin framework, Genius Act, and an executive order opening a path for crypto and 401k plans are among a growing list of legislative catalysts. So bullish, folks. This is another major on ramp. So you got Samsung with its existing customer base, 75 million plus users, are going to be able to come on board via Coinbase, and here Walmart's OnePay. You can spend your crypto and do different things, and this is a huge on ramp. Walmart has millions of customers as well. So just so bullish. All right, moving ahead. Tether is seeking at least $200 million for tokenized gold crypto treasury. So Tether and Ant Alpha platform are looking to raise at least $200 million for a digital asset treasury company that would acquire Tether's XAUT token, according to Bloomberg. Ant Alpha platform is closely linked to China's Bitmain Technologies, a major mining machine manufacturer. So Tether continues to expand, branching out to new products, which makes sense. They want to continue their dominance. They have the largest stablecoin in the world by the market cap, of course, and distribution and usage. And they have been tokenizing gold. We know they are launching the USAT stablecoin, which is specific to the United States. So they also recently mentioned they are looking to raise capital with an incredible valuation. I think very close to OpenAI, which is incredible stuff. All right, moving ahead. Joe Lubin confirms Swift is using Linea to build its new payment systems. So we heard just last week that Swift, they are using blockchain technology to try to compete because, again, disruptions at the doorstep of these firms. And we know Swift is made up by the banks around the globe. So one of the things I mentioned to you guys when I reported news that it would most likely be Ethereum based because they're partnering with Consensus to do this. Well, Joe Lubin has confirmed it. So SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, will be building its recently announced blockchain payment settlement platform on Ethereum Layer 2 Linea, Consensus CEO Joe Lubin has confirmed. On Monday, Swift revealed it had tapped Consensus and over 30 TradFi institutions to build infrastructure for a 24/7 real-time crypto payment system, but didn't confirm which chain it would build on, despite widespread speculation that it would be Linea. However, Lubin confirmed Linea's selection in a fireside chat with Cointelegraph's Garrett Jenkinson at the Token 29 conference in Singapore on Tuesday. Lubin said that during Swift's announcement to the banking sector, Swift CEO Javier Perez Tasso didn't mention Linea by name. Lubin said Swift had to soft roll out the big news, which was taken rather positively. I believe the sentiment was, thank you for doing this. It's about time to bring the two streams, DeFi and TradFi, together, said Lubin. Big things happening here. So, of course, how can you capitalize on this? Invest in Ethereum, right? I'm diversified. I hold Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and much more. There won't be one blockchain or one crypto asset to rule them all. That is a lie. If someone is telling you that, they're liars. Usually maximalists do that, right? Like Bitcoin maxis and so forth. You want to be diversified. You want to look at what's getting adoption and, of course, hold a respective token. But big confirmation here. And not surprised, they're using an Ethereum layer 2 because of the smart contract technology, of course. So very, very interesting. I don't even know if Linea has a token, by the way. I'll research that, and I don't think I've seen anything like that. But it could be like Base. Base, which is Coinbase's layer 2, doesn't have a token. So we'll see how this plays out. All right, moving ahead, Japan's tourism industry on the XRP ledgers. SBI Ripple Asia has partnered with Japanese travel agency Tobu Top Tours to develop tokens and payment systems on the XRP ledger. Under the Memorandum of Understanding, SBI Ripple Asia will issue tokens on the XRP ledger for use in a system that enables customers to pay for experiences such as accommodation, dining, and shopping. Tobu Top Tours will be responsible for partner acquisition and marketing initiatives based on non-fungible tokens. So big adoption here for the XRP ledger. Not everything will be financially driven or, in the finance industry. It will be real world application, travel, entertainment, and much more. You want to have tokenization and use of the XRP ledger, and that benefits the native asset, right? Which is XRP. Same thing applies for Ethereum, Solana, and much more. So big news here. Moving ahead, Vietnam Central Bank expects credit growth amid rapid crypto adoption. I've often stated crypto is a global asset class. In fact, it is the first truly global asset class because many other assets that are out there have been segmented. Not everyone from every country can access the New York Stock Exchange, for example, and buy Apple stock and things like that. But if you could be in any part of the world, you have a smartphone connection, you can get access to Bitcoin and crypto. There are no walls here. It trades 24/7. It's real time settlement and all of that. So this is why those banks are fighting back. They don't like this. This disrupts the whole model, right? So the State Bank of Vietnam, the country's central bank, anticipates credit growth of about 20% in 2025, a move that could see liquidity flow into the global crypto markets amid rising adoption in the region. Pham Thanh Ha, deputy governor of the central bank, said Friday that interest rates need to be slashed further to encourage economic growth and mitigate the uncertainty from U.S. imposed tariffs, according to Reuters. Vietnam's government legalized cryptocurrencies in June as part of a broader technology regulation, which categorized cryptocurrencies as either virtual assets representing real-world token products or crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ether. Very, very bullish, guys. We are seeing across the globe huge capitulation, huge adoption, huge investments. And of course, the governments are putting the guardrails, the regulations in place. They're not banning anything, they're allowing it to flourish. And those who have been heavy handed, they're starting to backtrack. Here's an example. Companies weigh in as UK prepares to reverse crypto ETN ban. Of course, they got to reverse it. They will be idiots. I've often said that if you ban crypto assets and blockchain, you're writing your economic death sentence because the markets, the governments, and the economies will all be running on blockchain rails. That is the future. So the UK's Financial Conduct Authority is set to soon reverse a ban on crypto exchange traded notes for retail investors enacted in 2019. According to an August 1st notice, the UK watchdog will lift a ban on retail access to crypto ETNs starting on Wednesday, provided that they are traded on an FCA-approved UK-based investment exchange. Unlike exchange-traded funds, ETFs, which are still banned in the UK for retail investors, ETNs represent debt securities tied to crypto and not backed by any underlying assets. Let me give you an update ahead of time. They're going to lift the ban on ETFs as well because there's a bunch of ETFs trading in Europe, and they're going to be idiots if they do this. Even Hong Kong has ETFs going and much more. So they're going to capitulate, right? They're going to be hard asses about it now, but they're going to capitulate because they're going to lose out and companies are going to leave the UK and go to other jurisdictions. So this is very bullish. They all got to bend the knee. They're all going to backtrack. Whoever tries to ban it, again, they ban it, they're going to write their economic death sentence. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think, especially about the Samsung and Coinbase news and also the Walmart OnePay app. Those are two major on-ramps to crypto, folks. Just so bullish. If you appreciate this content, please support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. Link will be in the description. I put out a write-up today, so check it out, guys. Also, check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything about crypto. So go to mycryptocourse.com to learn more. Folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.